Hey guys, welcome back to 5 nothing 100 nothing.com. I am Fugget, and that stands for the fittest underdog guru using intelligent tactics. And today, guys, I want to do a book review. That's something I haven't done yet, mostly because I don't read a lot anymore. I should read, and main reason is it just kind of keeps the mind sharp. But I've justified not reading regularly now for a little while because you can get more done if you're listening to audiobooks or podcasts. Well, got to read too. So what I want to do, you guys, I just finished reading Who Moved My Cheese. Freaking awesome, right? Spencer Johnson. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend you pick it up. And so what I want to do is just kind of give you the long story short here. Basically, what Spencer Johnson is doing in this book is he's giving you some life lessons, and he uses 4 characters, and 2 are mice and 2 are people, and they all live in this maze. And what happens is every day they go through the maze and they go to where the cheese is. So the maze represents life, the path you take. The cheese can represent your career, relationships, whatever it is, right? Now, what happens is every day they get up, they go through the maze to the same place and get some cheese. And they return home, they do the same thing the next day. Now, the mice are very simple. The mice don't have the analytical brains that the 2 people have or we have. And so the mice just simply use common sense. So they get up, they put on their running shoes, they go all the way over, get the cheese, come home, and do the same thing every day. Don't think about it, they just go and do it. And they react when conditions change. Now the 2 little people, they find the cheese, they celebrate it, they brag about it, they get comfortable, you know? It took a little while to find this cheese. And now they're in a place in life where they're just kind of, they grow just comfortable and lazy in a sense. That could happen in your professional life. That can happen in your relationships. Can happen in anything. So what happens is the cheese starts to diminish in supply. It starts to come down in the amount that's there. And so the 2 mice start to notice this. The cheese is getting moldy and there's less of it. So the mice don't think anything. They just take off and they go through the maze looking for new cheese. Okay, so they're out of the story for a little while. So the 2 little people start to go, what's happening to the cheese? Doesn't taste as good. There's not as much. Well, it looks like we're running out of it, but I'm sure that the supply will replenish. Whoever's putting the cheese there, more will come. It's always been there, it'll always be there. So the 2 little people hadn't put on their running shoes or even ran to the cheese through the maze for a long time now because it's always been there. So they hung up their running shoes, they traded in their running for walking, and just kind of, when they didn't see cheese, instead of thinking, okay, maybe something's happening here, maybe there's change, they just assumed that somebody was gonna put more cheese there. I mean, they had worked hard all this time in their life, so of course someone's gonna put it back there. You know, we're entitled to this, you know? And lo and behold, there's no cheese now. So the 2 partners, the 2 people, one starts to complain, is getting bitter, getting mad, and doesn't know what's going on, and is like just demanding there's going to be more cheese, and says there's got to be maybe cheese behind the wall of that maze, and starts like pounding into the wall and trying to break the wall and do all this stuff. And so the book talks about mistaking activity for progress. So there was no progress there because there was already a maze, and all you had to do is get out of your comfort zone and follow through, and you would find new cheese. But it's scary, right? And The other person is like, you know what, this is kind of ridiculous, and kind of laughs, at themselves and says, what have we been doing? Starts to analyze the situation and goes, this is not going to work. I've got to get the heck out of here and go look for new cheese. We should go together. And so the other person, the more negative of the two, is like, no, it's not a good idea. It's scary out there. And the other one's like, well, we've been through like the fears before. We went through the maze. We found cheese. We found this cheese. We can find more cheese. No, we're getting old. We can't do that. We just got to take what we can get right now. And it was here. It's got to come back, right? And the other one is like, I don't think that's going to happen. You know what? Just come with me. Come on. It'll be fun. And even though the one that was more optimistic, was ready to go, the same fears were there for the optimistic person versus the pessimistic one. But decided I got to go, and just took that first step in that maze and felt like a rush, like life was there. There was like optimism, there was a sense of adventure, a sense of excitement of the unknown, of what's coming, the potential, right? Where the people had the advantage over the mice in this way was that they could envision, it could be good or evil, they could envision either, delusion of it's going to be there, someone's going to bring it, and overthought things. But the good side is that they can envision new cheese. They can plan or see their future and let that build a hunger and a desire inside of them for that new relationship, that new job, that new whatever. Excuse me. So little by little, the person that was optimistic keeps going through the maze and is learning these lessons and is building this hunger and this new drive again, and remembering what it was like in the early days of finding that previous supply of cheese, and wants so badly for the negative Nelly to to come along. And what's hard is, in life, whenever you're trying to achieve something or go farther or do something, you might have to just go alone. You may not have somebody to go with you. You may not see things the same way, whether that's a business partnership or what have you. But so it's kind of sad in that regard when the positive person is going through, and finally, right? The positive person finds a big ass supply of cheese, right? Fresh cheeses that you couldn't imagine possible. And right in the middle of that pile are the two mice. And it says in the book that the positive person could see that those mice had been there for a little while, and nice bellies from all that cheese, right? And the mice just never questioned, why was the cheese gone? Where, is anyone going to bring it back? They didn't overthink the situation. They simply reacted. They simply knew the situation wasn't good, wasn't going to get better, and instead of overanalyzing it, they reacted by moving in the direction of the adventure, of the unknown, and of possibility. And that's like anybody, if you've ever seen people that have had a ton of success, how many freaking stories do we had to hear about Hollywood elite, or the great fall of a politician, or an artist that had it all, and all of a sudden their life becomes a big pile of shit. And we look at it, if we're the minions down here looking at the elite, and go, how could they act like that? They had it all. They had everything. They seemed happy. They this, they that. If I had that, I would be happy. Well, there's a reason that they fall. And we're all as different as we are as humans, and unique. There's a lot of similarities, and there's the same temptations, and there's the same, when it's easy, or when, you get to the top, it's easy to just get lazy and take it for granted that it's always going to be there. And you forgot what got you there. You forgot the hunger, the drive. And, you know, you hear it said, it's the journey, not the destination. And you talk to anybody that's like always reinventing themselves or always pushing and always has that drive. You know, you see, you know, like the person who, you know, has a new business venture and they're worth $500 million already. And you say, well, why would they risk it all? Or why would they keep doing things? If I had that money, I would just like collect interest on my investment and like, you know, go live on the beach. And it's like, but that's not what those people, what those successful, you know, elite, that's not how they think. It's the journey. It's the journey through the maze. It's the unknown. It's the possibility. It's like their heroin in a sense. But it's a good drive. And it's like their fuel, and it's what drives them to be who they are. So, very good reminder. Who Moved My Cheese? Highly recommend you pick it up. And it's probably, you could probably read it online by now. I forgot when this book was written. I know it's been a while. I picked this book up when there used to be Borders bookstores to go to. God, copyright 1998. I don't think I bought it then. I think I bought it in the early 2000s, but I'm a Jimmy come lately. I'm usually late to the dance, like that damn Game of Thrones. I'm way past that. I did watch the that show about, you know, creating crystal meth or whatever. I forgot what that series was called. That was great. See, sometimes I like to get it. I'm going way off track here. This is ADHD happening. But sometimes I like to get a show. If I am going to watch it, I like it to get into a few seasons. That way, if I want to binge watch it, then I don't have to wait till the next season, or I don't have to wait till the next week for the episode. So that should be edited out, but it won't be. I'm leaving it all. It's real life. So anyways, encourage you guys again, check it out. Who Moved My Cheese? Great reminder, no matter where you are on your path in life, you know, it's a real good foundational set of principles that can help you to turn your life around, get out of bad situations, be better than you are, and move on to what you're supposed to be. 5-0, 100-0. The undersized underdogs. So remember, it's not the fight, the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the, that's always gets me. It's the size of the fight in the dog. There we go. I should write that down like on a whiteboard, and like how Bart Simpson at the beginning of the show always has to write like, I will not this, or whatever it was, you know, like as punishment. I don't even know if they have chalkboards anymore, to be honest. Anyways, guys, have a great night. Sorry for rambling at the end, but it's all good. Check it out. Like, share, subscribe. Chill like a villain. I'm Penicillin. Have a great night.